Faith Murunga is one of the many Kenyans who have opted to travel to Middle Eastern countries as domestic workers. Like many before her, it was desperation that drove her to Saudi Arabia after seeking for employment locally without success. But the experience was not all it was billed out to be. Soon, she'll be forced to plot her escape.
Nikaenda, akaniambia Fei, nichukua hii dawa. Mimi nikachukua dawa, akanipatia gloves. Kunipatia gloves, akaniambia nataka niweke hii dawa wapi? Huku yeye akainama. So I thought it was a joke. But wakati niliona gloves na akainama, so mimi nikajua lazima tu nitamweka. Watu wanatuonanga sijui aje. Ni kama we don't deserve to live in the same world. Ni kama sisi tumetoka kwa dunia nyingine, dunia yao iko very special.
There was no help to be found at the Kenyan embassy in Riyadh, where pleas to be rescued fell on deaf ears. It was well-wishers who came to our aid.
Nilikuwa nimepatiwa 3 options. First option ni nijilipie ndege, nilipe ubosi 118k ndio nirudi Kenya. The second option nienda nifanye kwa familia nyingine, nimlipe pesa yake 118, nijilipie ndege nirudi Kenya. The third option ni endelee kufanyia kazi, nimalize contract, nirudi wapi? Kenya. Mimi nilichukua ile ya kwenda kufanya contract kwa nyumba nyingine, nimalize nimlipe pesa yake nirudi home.
We also meet Lona Jerop, who is trying to pick up pieces after surviving a near similar experience in the Gulf.
I cannot say that niliteswa sikuteswa for real, and it was a mistake that I regret. I could not have done it, but I did it kwa sababu sikuwa na watu wa kuniadvise. So nikatoroka nikaenda nje, where I met another life, like the Kenyan life that we are living here. I found myself in a very bad situation. So after 3 years I came back home to Kenya, and when I came back I had nothing, let me say that, because nilikuwa nimeingia kwa life ya raha sana. I was deep into the world.
Ironically, Lona says she can return to Saudi Arabia if promised good working conditions.
Given a chance to go to Saudi Arabia again, I can go.
Sophia's story is similar to Lona's. After months of sweat and tears, Sophia says that she came back empty-handed. Lona and Sophia are one of the few women who have lived to share their stories. Some have not been so fortunate.
The Kenyan embassy was pushing me and telling me that, in fact, it was the deputy ambassador who threatened me. Like, if you don't sign that document and say that you are satisfied with everything and go home, I'll make sure that you get arrested when you get to Kenya. So I didn't know why. And I asked him, why would I be arrested? What have I done? I have nothing. You're deporting me with nothing. And with injuries, because I had injuries.
Unfortunately, none of the deaths have been investigated to date. The latest detailed report by the Ministry of Labour confirmed that 89 Kenyan migrant workers had died in Saudi Arabia and other Gulf countries from 2019. In the report, all of the deaths were attributed to cardiac arrest, a position held by Saudi officials. However, the Kenyan government did not conduct independent autopsies on the bodies to determine causes of the deaths. In spite of these prevailing reports, several positive stories of the migrant workers have been shared in the public domain. Irene Shiru is one of the luckiest few who went to Saudi Arabia as a domestic worker during the COVID-19 pandemic. She says that her life changed for the better.
Zile ambazo zilikuwa nikituma, nyingine zinawekwa kwenye account, nyingine anatengenezea mambo fulani kama tumeongea. Ndio maana mnaona nikajenga hii nyumba. Na si kitambo nitemaliza.
The mother of 4 tells us that part of her success was attributed to wise investments.
Kile kichache ilikuwa nikipata na mzee wangu akipata kile kidogo tunawasomesha watoto mpaka wakamaliza.
She says the secret to maintaining a good relationship with employers is upholding respect and following instructions to the latter.
Hawataki uzinifu, hawataki mtoto wao achapwe, hawataki mtu mvivu kule. Kama unataka kupendwa basi ni uwe unajua kazi. Ufanye kazi na uwe huna madharau.
Some of the key details that job seekers ought to counter-check before boarding a plane to the Gulf include: recruitment agency must be registered with the Ministry of Labour through the National Employment Authority. Request proof of the agent certificate of registration and verify the same via NEA website. Avoid dealing with sub-agents and brokers. The employment contract must be in English and must be duly authenticated by the recruiting agent and the State Department of Labour.
Msichana anaweza sema, anaweza toka hapa Kenya na wanafanya hivyo. Ameongea na msichana kutoka Saudi Arabia. Wewe ukifika airport nitakuja nitakuiba. Unaona? Msichana inategana tu kidogo. Huyu alikuwa akuja saa hii na huyu ameenda saa hii. Kwa hivyo huyu msichana akitoka Kenya hakuwa anaenda kazi ya nyumba. Alikuwa ameenda intention yake atoroke. Unaona? Sasa huyu msichana akienda kufanya kazi pale, atafanya kazi akianza kulalamika, atajichukua video huku nateseka, nafanywa hivi, nafanywa vile.
Meanwhile, according to human rights lobbyists, some agencies are uncountable when it comes to following up on cases of mistreatment. The new cabinet secretaries of the new regime in unison suggested more labor officials to be sent to Gulf countries in order to tame domestic workers' miseries.
And I think they should also have some cover for medical, because it looks like when they are in problems, they are in health issues, they have health issues, they are not treated well and they suffer. And by the time they are back here, they will have undergone so many challenges.
Enhancing our number of labor attaches. Specifically, the country we're talking about is 3 times or 4 times Kenya. And one labor attaché is not enough. It's not able to deal with this issue.
At the same time, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has upgraded measures to ensure the safety of domestic workers. In a statement by the Ministry of Labour, these are some of the steps taken: introduction of wage protection program, activating the alternative dispute resolution mechanism, and where not applicable, have put a mechanism to ensure cases referred to courts are resolved within 21 days.
This will start on Monday, 7th of November 2022. And I want to assure you that you have nothing to worry about. You have the hotline. Now you don't have to relate to just depend on social media. You don't have to depend on your families. You can get your help directly from the Kenyan government.
Data from the Labour Ministry says there is around 400,000 Kenyan migrant workers in the Gulf, of which 210,000 are in Saudi Arabia. Additionally, according to the Central Bank of Kenya, Saudi Arabia is the 3rd highest source of remittance inflows to Kenya after the US and UK. Some $185 million shilling came in from Saudi Arabia in 2021 alone. But his claims of pay abuse and forcible detainment of domestic workers in those Gulf countries, unemployed Kenyans are still lured in to seek job in the Middle East countries. Mariam Jahid, K24, Nairobi.